My wife and I arrived in China on the 23rd of October, and shortly after I slept that night, my sleep was murdered. Can you guess what murdered my sleep? It was news of the president's cabinet shakeup. Those of you who have been following my messages can attest to the fact that I am that person who has been preaching that we should all stay positive and that there's light at the end of the tunnel. But my arm of positivity was pierced when this news broke. I just felt sorry for all Nigerians. I saw this as a straw that proverbially broke the camel's back. Many of us believe that after almost 17 months that our president would have realized he needed a complete overhaul of his cabinet and that he needed a wartime team. You go to war with seasoned and battle-tested generals. People who have got what it takes to take on the myriad and mammoth challenges that threaten our nation. I'm talking of a team that not only comprehends the problems, but that can come up with practical solutions and implement them. But alas, what did we get? A few cosmetic changes. I just couldn't sleep, and then hunger came. By this time, the hotel room service had closed and the 24-hour convenience store at the lobby of the hotel didn't accept international cards. There was no way we could sleep with this hunger, so finally around 2 a.m. I braved a call to one of my Chinese suppliers and told her that I wasn't sure we would make it through the night if we didn't get food. She laughed and said she would order food and send to us. The food was delivered in less than an hour, but it came with chopsticks and no fork or spoon. So here we were, two very hungry people with the food we craved and chopsticks that we didn't know how to use. What do you think happened? Of course, we started learning how to use the chopsticks. It was such a funny sight. Midway into the experiment, my wife decided to call the hotel operator to see if they could send us cutleries. And to our surprise, they said they could. We hadn't considered this option before because we just assumed that since their room service had closed, getting cutleries from them wasn't a possibility. Right there and then, I realized that God had just taught me a valuable lesson. Nigeria will not kill us. Tinubu will not kill us. We won't die on this mountain. If we survive 8 years of Buhari coupled with COVID, then there's absolutely nothing Tinubu can or will do that will kill us. Our God is greater than this battle and He's battle ready. We just need to walk with Him. Sometimes we cry too much over a problem that our tears stop us from seeing the solution right in front of us. Nothing stopped my wife and I from calling room service immediately for the cutleries, but we didn't because we were too focused on the problem. Nothing stopped us from calling our supplier immediately to get us food, but we suffered for over 2 hours complaining about China and the hotel. This is the same situation we're now facing in Nigeria. Yes, there's a problem, but what next? Businesses must sell as they buy. It's that simple. Don't shut your business and say because your raw material prices have gone up, you can no longer stay in business. No. Factor in the inflation and increase your selling price. You that is working for someone, you can see that your employer has increased the prices of goods or services, but he has not increased your wages. Simply respectfully demand an upward review in your wages. The key word is respectfully. If you are relevant to the organization, if your input or output is key to the success of the organization, trust me when I say your employer will increase your wages. But, a big but, if you know that you are just a burden on that organization and that they are already just managing you, I sincerely advise you not to let them remember you as they consider cost-cutting measures. It's time to reinvent yourself out of your problems. Crying and moaning about problems is just a waste of your time because after you are done, the problems are still there. Problems don't respond to tears, they respond to solutions. What's your solution? Do you want to fold your arms and die on this mountain, or do you want to figure a way out of this? Tinubu might not have a solution to Nigeria's problems, but that shouldn't stop you from having a solution to the problems Nigeria is causing you. Don't waste your time complaining about the government. the way my wife and I did in China. Last, the Chinese government was not the one hungry. Come up with practical solutions. They are there staring at you in the face, but you won't see them because you are crying. You won't hear God because you are complaining. Good ideas are still attracting investments despite the bad economy. What's your idea? Don't just have a lazy brainwave and say that you want to start a catering business because your husband has been tolerating your food. Don't copy what others are doing. Be original. God made you an original. Your genetical makeup is distinct from that of the next man. Be original in your ideas. Be original in your thoughts, words, and actions. Don't do follow complaining. I fear, not because I am afraid, but because you are afraid. Think about this and limit your interactions with those whose negativity is contagious. We need to start cutting our coats according to our sizes. This is no time to be frivolous. Imagine someone sending me a message that he's tired of life because his mother-in-law died and they asked him to contribute 100,000 naira. How can you want to give up on life because of this? Did you give the woman 100,000 naira throughout her lifetime that you now want to kill yourself over this amount just to do Owambe for her funeral? Or is it the person that said to me she's depressed because she couldn't travel for summer? These are the kind of problems people are presenting before God every day. So the next time you see someone crying in church, don't just assume that all problems make sense. There are people whose problem is just how to get money for butt or breast enlargement. God is truly merciful. He has all manners of children and He is a loving Father. Beloved of God, I want to say something to you today. It's normal and okay to be sad and fretful about this mountain we find ourselves. But it's abnormal to make sadness and fear a permanent abode. There's absolutely nothing God cannot do. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then said he unto them, My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Lord, my prayer today is that if it's at all possible, let this cup pass over our nation. Nevertheless, not as we will, but let your will be done. God bless you all.